Sponge says, hey, be sure to check out OpenTheGrate.
All right, I'm getting over here. Slowly but surely, I'm making it. A couple more things. We'll work on this thing some more. All right, y'all let me know if you can hear me when you get on anyway.
Bunch says, anonymous tip $5. Hey, you there again, nice to see you live.
Anonymous tip $5. That's funny. Well, hello. Nice to see you again, too. I really wish I could get as many of them $5 as old girl. You know, making all kinds of money on that thing. All right, so I went ahead and took apart the SIM panel. That's that button box over there that was on the computer over there. Let's change y'all's view so I ain't so far away.
Anonymous tip $5. We can hear you just fine. LOL.
There you go. That'll work. Let me get it. Let's swap over to this view. See if y'all can see that a little bit better. Where I'm at. There we go. Alright, working the cameras from over here is totally new to me, so that's what takes me so long to get things going. And hopefully y'all, this mic continues to work. Anyway, so the SIM panel, this thing right here, it was in a box. So I took it out, and this is what we're going to be putting over there in the dash. And interestingly enough, I was speaking with someone. I'm not going to mention no names so I get the stuff in the mail and we get to looking at it. Some of these things right here that looked real promising. So interested to see how those things turn out. These are the brake knobs. The ones that come factory with the SIM panel are 3D printed. Now there's nothing wrong with them. They work just fine, but they're 3D printed. If I can get the more realistic ones, we're going to try to go that route. Anyway, we just took this off so we can see how it's going to, where it needs to go over here on the dashboard. And we needed to see how deep it is, because the depth of that whole other box, it's pretty deep. It's enclosed in another plastic box. It's about this deep. The height and length of it is exactly the size of this, so that didn't change. But what does change is how deep this thing is. So now the only thing that takes up the most room now is this actual ignition switch over here. So we'll see if we can move that, where we can put it, and what our options are on it. We'll move this over so I don't knock it over. And remember, that's our makeshift GPS unit. Put it over there. What else we got? Allergies been kicking me in the butt if y'all didn't hear me last time, so I start scratching my eyes, nose running, and everything else, you know why.
Heather Bunch says, anonymous tip, all that looks cool. Looks like you have a lot of work to do.
I had to go get me a fan. It's some air moving around here. As soon as I find an open, here we go. Open, available area for some wind. Ooh. There we go. Now I got some wind moving. Hopefully it doesn't make a bunch of noise in the night. Alright, so if y'all were on here earlier, we went through and looked at all of the accessories we're going to be looking at on the dash. That video, if you haven't seen it, you can tune in, watch it later if you want. Anyway, I go through every little thing that I have that's possibly going in the dash. So, I don't know if y'all can see this. This is in the little screen now, I'm sure. But it looks like this is going to be able to go right here. And I can see I have a screw mark right here, so it's going to go about, roughly about an inch, 3/4 of an inch below that screw mark. So if we look at our...
says, which view so we can see better? You're in the small screen.
Yeah. Well, I won't be over there very long, so we're just looking at this for a second. So we have to remember that we also have, take these screws out. We'll set them up here out of the way. We have our trim bezel that's going to go here. Don't forget about that guy. And this is going to go roughly to the, just a bit to the right of that screw hole. We can't go down that far. It's going to have to be up here. Because remember, this is going to have to go almost level with the screw hole that's there. You can go over almost on top of it. So we'll be able to go all the way to the edge of that trim, which we probably don't want to go that far with, but we could if we wanted, if we needed to. But as far as how low it can go, it's going to be putting this unit roughly about right here. That's about where that's going to go. So already, just this one unit, I don't know if y'all can see in that angle, Just this one unit takes up quite a bit of space. Now if I did bring it over to the right just a hair, because there's some connections here I can actually modify just a little bit. So we'll do that now. Let's modify these couple of connections, make it take up less space on the back side. It's not as easy for me to switch views because I got to come over here and use the mouse, whether it's different than on the when I'm streaming playing the game, because then I have my stream deck and I can do it off of that. But anyway, loosen this, and all I'm doing is there's some screws here that we're just moving to where they take up less space. We're just clocking them differently. We're not taking them off, we're just moving them around. See how that's, let me see if you can see that. Anyway, see how this piece right here is going straight up and down? All I'm doing is loosening the screw.
Heather Bunch says, are you gonna start putting that stuff in the dash right now?
We're gonna mark it all out. We're gonna mark it all out to see where things are going first. Then we gotta cut all the holes. So chances are of us actually getting to putting something in the dash is slim. It's going to be a lot of planning and deciding where things are going to go. Alright, so I got those two moved around. The last one I got to move is this one right here. And I'm actually going to move it.
Heather Bunch says, oh, okay, makes sense.
I'll bring this one down. Down here. Try not to mess these up. See, just by bending that, it done bent this terminal some kind of way. Wow. Put that back in there. I'll tighten that up. And we'll bend this around this way. So basically all I did was reclock those and bend them so they're not taking up as much space. Now let's go back over here and take a look. I'll change the view. Not that view, that's the wrong view. See what I'm talking about? The views are a little bit different, harder to change out in that area. Let's see. There we go. We'll go with that view. Foot in everything. Okay. So now with everything kind of moved over.
Heather Bunch says, there you go, you did it, Ace, LOL.
LOL. So we don't want to go center, I don't think. If I go center with it right here, it's not really leaving me a whole lot of room on the left or the right. The center would actually be closer to about right here. Because remember, we can't really put anything anywhere where there's these columns. Right? Choices are come over as far as we can to the left with this amount of room left over here. What could we put right here in this little valve area out of our stuff that we have over here to the right? Not a whole lot. We could probably put a dash vent right here, right? We could do that. We could have another one over here, and our dash vents could be low, which that's not a problem. Let's go grab one of those. The dash vent would fit real nice right there. Well, I would probably push him all the way as far over to the right as I could. Right there. And that could be our area there. So we would go as far over to the left as we could with this little floppy right here, which would probably be roughly about right here. Now by doing that, that's going to put our center divider remember this thing, put it roughly about right here. Now we'll take a measurement from the top and down, because we know the top goes all the way to the edge here. And that's roughly about 9 3/4 at the top of this. We can't go down no further than that. Let's see where 9 3/4 brings us here. So it's at 9 1/2. So that's pretty much exactly where that's going to be. Roughly about right there. At 9 1/2. Right there. All over all of this. It's just under 6 inches. I'm showing it's going to have to come up just a hair. We'll put it right there. Let's see where we're at. It's at 8 3/4 on the trim. We came up here and done 8 3/4. Puts the bottom of the trim roughly about right here. Be about right there, which is fine. We can do that. Okay. So, if we go with this idea of putting the CM button box right there, so there's our CM button box. It'll go roughly right there. And then we have as a dash vent. So remember, we can't go where this screw is, because that's the stud. You can go about 1/2 inch away from it. roughly about right there. All right. See if I can get this at a bit of an angle so y'all can kind of see what's taking place. All right. All right, so can't quite see all the way over here the corner, so I'm going to turn that camera to the to y'all's left. Just there.
Heather Bunch says, looks like you have a plan.
Yeah, looks like that's going to go there. All right, so now what all do we have left that needs to go up here? Well, we have our radio. So we all know about how much room a radio takes. Let's open this guy up. Wait. Okay. Now we'll just put that stuff back in there.
Heather Bunch says, watch out now, you got stuff flying at you.
Right, I do. Got all kinds of stuff flying at me. Too bad it ain't money. Let's see. So here's the radio. This is the actual radio, just like we go in a car. And it's got its own little built-in bezel, so we don't kick it and make it work. It's hard to
Heather
tell.
Bunch says, anonymous tip $5 dollar.
Right, dollar, come on. So, I don't know if you can see it. This guy right here, the radio, maybe about right there. Just a little bit. All right. Remember, we got our GPS, which I think it should go just above the radio. I'm putting all these upside down so we kind of know where they are going to land. Okay, roughly right there. Now, things we have left. I have my switch panel. We can't forget that guy, right? I have my AC control. So I don't think I'm going to have enough room up top for my AC control on this side of the panel. just because I don't have enough room to put almost any of these modules next to one of these, and there be enough room for that stud that's behind here. See, all this is wasted space. I can't use none of this space right here. Wish I could, but I can't. At least
And
not.
Bunch says, maybe out it on the other side.
Cut it out on the other side. Well, you can't, because it's the stud. It's what holds the whole front together. You can't cut it, unfortunately. You can notch it out. So it would fit. I could probably notch this to where it would fit about right here. But I don't think I could put both this and that up here. Let's see. Put that guy right there. Put that right there, as far over to this way as we can. See, there's just not enough. If there is, it's just barely enough room right there. Barely. I would almost for sure have to notch out that stud, which it's fine. I can notch half of the stud out. Right here.
Another Bunch says, what if you put the vent somewhere else and put the AC thing where the vent is?
Well, then it wouldn't have enough room, because see how much this takes up all of that space, and I can't go past this invisible line. I can't go past that. Like, I could probably get really close right there if I notch this out on this end to be able to take this. Our other options that we have over
Another
here.
Bunch says, oh okay, I see.
Yeah, this is too big to go over there, period, on the left side. So that's going to be my only option, is to finagle this to fit right there and notch it as needed. And since we know nothing else is going to go here, I would just center this in this space that we have available. That's probably how it's going to have to look. Yeah.
Another Bunch says, where are you gonna put the other vents?
We're probably not going to use all four. That'd just be overkill, I think. We might use 3 now. Over here on the dash side of things, let me switch views. This one. Alright, so over here on the dash side of things, I'm also going to take off the steering wheel while we're looking at stuff. Put on the bezel. Here's our bezel on this side. Get a stool to sit on over there. Okay. Get the tablet so we still have that we have available to use. Okay. So, we need to bring over our, we may not use these, you know, I have these here to simulate an upper and lower dash. We don't have to use these. Which we may not, I don't know yet. But I say this was at about 8.5. Let's say 8. The bottom of it is at 9.25. The bottom of it's at 9.25. So 9.25 would bring this all the way down to here, roughly. Because we were going to follow that all the way up. And if we brought that all the way down to there, that's going to leave only one thing we can do with that space, and that's put an air vent. Or we could do singular flip panel switches. Same thing on this side over here. We would be able to put an air vent on either side of this. And we could have 3 lower air vents if we wanted to do that. That's a lot of air vents. I was definitely wanting to put an air vent over here on this side here somewhere. So the dashboard gauges will go right here. Okay. And we could still have this whole thing here. We could do something on the back side. We could put here for like chats or something. I don't know. Something to do with streaming info. Oh, you know, that's another thing that we're going to have on our dash is our stream deck.
Enter Bunch says, I think you should put vents in the bottom small area.
think so too. Let me get the stream deck. So that might be what we end up doing. Is I'll put a vent over here. Okay. Hold on, get this here. Put a vent over here on this side. I can put my stream deck right there. I think that'll work. Question is, what feels better, right hand stream deck or left hand stream deck? I think stream deck right there. What do y'all think? Obviously not upside down. We could put a air vent over here, roughly about right there, and this smaller area. Okay. Now,
Heather Bunch says, or put the stream deck on the left side up by the tablet, and then put the air vent where the stream deck is now.
well, remember I already have a air vent right over here. So I'll be getting air from my right side. If I put another one right here, it's kind of just doing the same thing as that one. That's why I'm wanting to put the air vent over here on the left somewhere, whether it be up high or down low. I could actually put 2 air vents up here to make it more symmetrical and leave this down here available for something else.
Heather Bunch says, okay, I see, yeah, I would just leave it how it is then.
So we can not put a piece of trim over here on this side and use that side for a whole tablet area over here. It's kind of interesting to think about. Use the trim piece here. We could do a elongated or horizontal vent here, horizontal vent here. I don't think it would look right with one left or one right. Put 2 of them up here. I don't know if y'all can see that. And that'll leave, if I ever want to add something here, I could, but for now we can just leave that area open. I think that looks good. What do you think?
Heather Bunch says, that setup looks good.
I think so too. Still not for sure what we'll use this other tablet for, but it has, we could use that tablet, we could just put a multitude of things on it. If it's gauges, it's chat, something to do with the streaming, whatever we got, we can put over there. I really don't.
Heather Bunch says, maybe your chat.
I don't like, right? I don't like the way that looks right there. It looks like too much to me. Alright. So I think it's decided then. We're gonna put two vents, both horizontal, here and here. We'll put the stream deck here. This little area will stay open. And we'll leave this open for whatever else we need over here. Yeah. We won't worry about using this divider over here on this side. Sounds good to me. Now the hard part is getting all the measurements of where they need to go.
Heather Bunch says, I think ITLL work better like that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that looks good. Let me take a picture of it so I can remember.
Heather Bunch says, now time to cut LOL.
Right, that's kind of, well, we got to get all the measurements first. Okay. All right, I got the two pictures. Got to do the measurements now.
Heather Bunch says, start measuring LOL.
Right, that's what I'm doing. Quit rushing. Let's take this microphone off. Make it easier to. Tighten with that. Take the keys out. Don't lose the keys. Okay.
Bunch says. I'm motivating you, LOL.
I hear you. I hear you there. I need to see how far over. We need to be on this. We could just take this mount, cut it in half. And I'm not getting exact anything here. I'm just kind of getting small, rough measurements here. Yeah, rough measurements. So the height is good here. Six inches. Okay.
Heather Bunch says. You finally measuring, LOL.
Yeah, we finally measuring. Finally.
says. Awesome.
This all the way over. Okay, we're going to bring this over just a bit. Can't really tell how much we can bring that over. I'll try right here.
Heather Bunch says, are you doing the trim?
What trim? What are you talking about? Anyway, what trim are you talking about? What trim?
Heather Bunch says, the trim that goes around the dash on the edges.
This trim. What do you mean? Am I doing it? We're just painting it black. We ain't doing nothing else. And then that'll be one of the final things that goes on after everything's installed. Where are my...
Oh, okay.
These things here are going to be difficult to do. There's not going to be an easy way to do these.
Heather Bunch says, can't see what you're doing over there, LOL.
It's dealing with these round bezels for the AC things. Trying to make sure they're right exactly on area. I think what we'll have to do is we will have to pick one and drill for the center, and then from there we can measure out from center to center. Actually, we'll pick where we want the center to be. We won't drill yet, but we'll measure from that center point. That's what we'll do.
Heather Bunch says, sounds complicated, LOL.
Yeah, it kind of is. So there's the first hole. So what we'll do is we'll measure out center of that hole. We'll say 51. Half of 51 is 25 and a half. Right there. Really, the easiest way to do this is a protractor. But I don't think I've used one of them since junior high. But you want something that's pretty close. And that's where we got it right here. Our middle point is right here. Okay. So what we do from that middle point is we now measure from center to center of these items here. And we remember our 25.5 because that's going to be our what we do our circle with. Alright, so center to center on these units. How do you know it's center to center? Well, we're just getting close. We just need it within like a couple millimeters. This center to center looks like it's going to be 70 millimeters. Sounds like I got the Dracula theme music going on behind me. Alright, 70 to 70 millimeters. Alright, we'll check this one over here. And it is also extremely close to 70 millimeters. So now that we know that, we really need to see what our measurement is from here to there. Usually with a straight edge, our straightest edge that we have is going to be our straight measurement area. We got a straight edge here, but straight measurement area, we're going to go off the top here. It's not perfect. Seven. Right at 7 3/4, real close. The mark we made earlier is real close to that. Here. And we'll come down here and we'll put one just on the outside of this. This one is actually on it. That's actually exactly where we want it to be. Alright, now we'll take our straight edge and line these two up.
Dakota Bunch says, looking good, fool.
What's up, Dakota? How you doing tonight? On this Saturday night, come on. We will get a long mark there and a long mark there. Appreciate it though, appreciate it. Alright, we got our 70 mark here. We're going to go off of our center.
Dakota Bunch says, good, just chilling.
That's good. Just chilling. I hear you there. 70. That's all I'm doing, just chilling too. Working on this project. Come on. Okay. Alright, so there's our center marks. I'm going to take this and we're going to kind of poke a little bit of a hole here. I'll take this and I'll poke a little bit of a hole there. Ain't poking very well, is it? I don't want it to be too big because give you too much waller. Nobody wants a whole lot of waller. Come on. There we go. Alright, so that should be our markouts for these center spots. So all I should need now is a hole saw that is just the right size that this will slip through. And that hole saw needs to be an OD Let's make sure we're back to 0. Needs to be an OD of
Heather Bunch says, now time to cut.
You ready to cut, huh? I hear you. We're getting there. I need an OD of at least 59 millimeters, but no more than 64 millimeters. So I gotta go find us a hole saw. We can at least do these. We'll at least get these cut for sure. I'll be right back. I gotta find a hole saw. Alright, so I do not have a hole saw that's that big. So I would end up having to go find a hole saw for that. The only other option would be a jigsaw, and I really don't want to do that. It's not a good idea. Okay. So we're moving on. We at least know we got these areas right here. I'll make these a little more prominent. Okay, good enough. Moving on, moving on. All right. So we got our 3 marks made for our vents, or not our vents, but our AC control panel. Remember, this is just going to be for looks. It's not going to have any function other than you get to fidget with it and it will light up. The emblems and stuff are going to light up on it. I will make that work. Okay. Next on the list, it's going to be the drill out of the, not the drill out, but the cutout for the radio. I can go ahead and use this for the template. What we'll do is we'll get our measurement here. That looks to be like 7 5/8. Yeah, roughly. So much movement in these little things. We'll come down here.
Dakota Bunch says, "What's all that other JVC stuff?"
Well, you missed my other video. I went through and talked about all of it, but JVC is going to be the radio. It's a Bluetooth CD player. It's actually in-dash single DIN CD player. It's this one right here. See it there. It's not lit up, but that's going to be it right here. And this will be what actually we'll be playing the audio through. We're not going to have any speakers sit in the dash, but instead of normally, you know, on this would wire to your car speakers. Well, what we'll actually be doing is coming out of RCAs and going into a line input into the computer. So it'll actually be feeding the audio to the PC, which will then come out of the speakers where I'll be able to hear it in here while I'm playing, and the listeners will be able to hear it through the game audio capture. And we'll be able to listen to like the old school CDs or whatever. We can pop it in there and listen to it. Or if I wanted to Bluetooth from my phone to the radio, just like we were in the car, we could do it like that too. And this is, I don't know if you got to see this. This is the switch panel, button switch panel. It's got an American flag on it. It will be lighting up blue with all these switches here. Some USB ports, 12 volt source here. Thought that was real neat. That other thing there, the stereo dash kit. Where'd that little demo floppy go? Ah, right here. There's this guy right here. So I modified this stereo dash kit to work with an old phone of mine, and it's actually going to be the nav map, which is going to go up here somewhere, and it's going to have the nav map that connects to the game and works like the GPS navigation in the dash, which I thought was also pretty neat. Jerry Reed, come on. All right, moving on. And that's the power supply to make it all work. But yeah, if you go watch the video later, if you get a chance, go watch the video I posted before this one, and I'll go through. I had everything up on the table and talked about it, talked about the pedals, talked about all this stuff into detail. Come on. All right, back to this. Got sidetracked. God damn it. Yes. Right now what I'm doing is I'm making the cutout for the in-dash CD player. Making the mark for the cutout anyway. We had, a while ago, we went and kind of got everything lined up and just kind of placed where things are going. So everything you see on the dash over there, nothing is attached. It's just sitting up there, just for looks right now.
Dakota Bunch says, right on gonna be a nice setup pool. That phone trick is a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I was trying to find a, you know, we were talking, I think last time you were here, we were talking about a long screen for the chat or whatever. And I went in to try to find another screen to kind of do like that was going to do. And I found that phone, or I remembered I had that phone, because that's the phone that I use for my JB4 tuner in the white car. So since we don't use that anymore, we can just use it for this dash build. Come on. Hoping this is going to be straight. Just don't. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty straight. I think that's going to work good. I got to move it all the way over to the right as far as I can, so it'll fit them AC buttons. And this is going to go right here. I think that'll work. Okay. So next, it's going to be this. This is a little bit harder to knock out, because we're going to probably run into the same situation we're running into over here with the studs on this area over here. I might have to notch some stuff out here and here. We'll know more when we get closer to that area of the build though. So what we're going to do with this is we're just going to kind of get it. I'll get my measurement of the top up here. I don't know if they provide a template, because these, not in this. This isn't really meant to be used as we're using. It's just meant to go into a factory dash and it worked from there. So yeah, there's no templates in here. I do have some extra, a whole bunch of extra crap. Yeah. Yeah. No, we don't need none of that crap. Little brackets and stuff. Now some of that stuff might come in handy for using for L brackets for mounting to the back side of this thing once we get, because all this, like I said, all this is going to be mounted to the back. Okay. So let me get a measurement. Our measurement here is 7/8. So we'll get another measurement here at 7/8. It's pretty dang close. Remember guys, this stuff ain't gonna be perfect. There's nothing straight on this whole thing. So we're just gonna get it as close as possible to where it looks good. Nothing's perfect. Alright, so this is going to be our straight edge for the top. And my idea is I'm going to cut the line. And by cutting the line, it should give us enough room that this slides through and protrudes from the back side to the front side. Theoretically. Uh, 5 1/16 on the 2. 5 1/16. So that is a good. That is a good. Straight edge for here. Go. Now we'll straight edge these lines together. First, before we do that, I'll make sure these measurements are the same. 9 3/8 on the 2. Pretty close. 9 3/8 on the 2. Nine 3/8 on the 2. Spread it. Right there. Okay.
Heather Bunch says, "You still drawing lines, LOL."
Yeah, I'm still drawing the lines. Lots of lines. It's going to be lots of cuts this thing's going to have. Alright, so this should be the GPS. This should be the CD player. This is the AC vents. This going to be really close on some of these items up here up top.
Heather Bunch says, hey, you have a main mug behind you, LOL.
Got it, what? What'd you say? Huh? I have a mean mug behind me. Oh, you talking about old Pickle Rick? Come on.
Heather Bunch says, a mean mug look behind you, LOL.
The old Pickle Rick, come on. Pickle Rick. Yeah, he's the only one that comes hang out every now and then. All right. 2. Alright. So this is a little bit more difficult to do a cutout on. I think what we're going to do, because this actually is going to overlap. So
Heather Bunch says, I'm Pickle Rick, LOL.
yeah, Pickle Rick. Come on. So this is 6 inches. Will come out. We'll do an opening for. Let's do 6 1/4. Let's do a 6 1/4 by 3 5/8. 6 1/4 by 3 5/8. Okay. All right. So what that means is we'll find our center here of our lines, our little makeshift lines that we did. Our makeshift lines are going to be going to be 4. We'll drop one, so 5. We'll say 5 1/2. We'll drop one. That's 4 1/2. So half of 4 1/2 is what? 2 1/4. 2 1/4. So if we're burning one, that means it's going to show up as 3 1/4. So this should be our halfway point right here. Okay, and then over here, our overall. All right. Overall, we're not looking for an exact, we're just looking for midway of what we kind of put up here to guess at. So here we have 8.5. We're burning one, so that's 7.5. Half of 7.5 is 3 3/4. Sounds about right. Three and 3/4. So that's the center of our Duma floppy. Now, if we want to know center of this actual, let's look at it and we're like, oh, this thing's 7.5. Well, that's what we had, wasn't it? That's pretty damn close. Now that we know our center here, we know our overall length we want is 6 1/4. So half of 6 1/4 is 3 1/8. Right? Right. Always double check any measurements you do them twice. There's been many a times, and if you're doing any measuring, be sure to always use the same tape measure. I've seen tape measures be different. Alright, so this other one, 3 5/8, half of 3 5/8. That one gets a little bit more tricky. Because 5/8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is 10/16. So you would need 5/16. 3, 4, 5/16. So 5/16 and half of 3 is 1.5 plus 5/16. So 1.5, which is 1.5, plus 5/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. Which puts us right there at 1 and 13/16. 1 and 13/16. Y'all follow me with that math? It ain't rocket science. One and 13/16 right there. Boom. Now we're going to go over here. 1 and 13/16. But right there. Boom. Now, there's probably a whole lot easier way to do it. That's just how I do it. You don't like it, I don't care. All right. Nah, I'm just playing. If y'all know an easier way to do it, let me know. I would like to make this as easy as possible. So now with the new measurement that we have of our cutout, I'm going to get this information and we're going to make us a straight edge. So that's 7/8. We'll come down here to this line because we know it's got to come all the way down here. We'll make our mark at 7/8. We'll do the same thing all the way up here at this line. Make sure it's pulled taut. 7/8. Our bottom line down here, it's at 4.5. So we'll do the same thing. We'll come down to where we made these
Heather
lines.
Bunch says, "Yeah, just cut it, LOL."
No, we don't want to just cut it. It'll be all over the place. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Right there. No, that's not right. 4.5. That's 3.5. Don't listen to me. See, that's why you always double measure, because we would have. See, that's why we don't cut it just right now. You got to double measure. Look at it. Think about it. Look at it again. Measure it again. Okay, let's get a straight edge. We don't have these marked. We can do that anyway. Let's get our bottom lines up.
Alright, your alarm's set for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Well, I didn't set the alarm. Who set the alarm for 9 a.m.?
It looks like there's already an alarm set for then.
Who set the alarm for 9 a.m.?
It looks like there's already an alarm set for
Oh my God.
Heather Bunch says, "No, you could cut it, and just make it fit, LOL."
Well, I'm curious of who set the alarm for 9 a.m. that Google keeps trying to tell me. I didn't set an alarm for 9 a.m. So I'll probably already be up at that time, but that's not the point.
Heather Bunch says, "You did LMAO."
I didn't set the alarm for 9 a.m. Google just started talking about it. Talking about, okay, there's an alarm set for 9 a.m. Like I want to be up at 9 a.m. See, you made me lose track what I'm thinking. 7/8 right there. Oh, 7/8. Right there. Quarter.
Heather Bunch says, "You set the alarm, LOL. It was telling you it's 9 and time to cut, LOL."
I believe it's time to cut, but I sure ain't waking up at no 9 a.m. Well, I might wake up at 9 a.m. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll probably already be up. I'm saying I don't want no damn alarm set. That's what I'm trying to get at. All this looks close enough. All this is close enough. So we'll go out here. 16 and a quarter. 16 and a quarter. 16 and a quarter. That's right on the money. And 16 and a quarter. Which is also, well, this is really close already. Already all real close.
Heather Bunch says, "Hey Google, set an alarm for 5 a.m.
You got it. Your alarm's set for tomorrow at 5 a.m.
I don't need no alarm set for 5 a.m. Come on. Hey Google.
The alarm for tomorrow at 5 a.m. is canceled.
Thank you. Quit telling my Google window to set an alarm.
You have set an alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Hey Google, cancel all alarms.
Okay, your alarm for tomorrow at 9 a.m. canceled.
They're gonna make me go crazy.
On your website, crowncouncil.com, they say,
Okay, she's over there trying to tell me about something that I don't want to know. Anyway. All right, so what we got so far. See if any of this shows up on the camera. Not really. Yeah. So GPS up here, radio right here, switch panel box right here, AC vents right here, and then we're going to put our air brakes and stuff down here, which we haven't made out yet, and our air vent will go over here. So far, so good. I was thinking whenever I go to cut this out, there's a spot here that's, I don't know why they made it this way, but it's not going to set flush. I'm going to actually have to cut that area out right there. But I was thinking I want this to set like an overlay.
Heather Bunch says, sounds good. Hey Google, cheer.
Anyway, whatever you say. This over is going to overlay our hole, so you won't see it. This, I'm thinking I'll kind of do the same thing, let it overlay the hole. So we can just put the screws straight in here. Maybe. But to do that, we'll kind of have to do the same ordeal here. Because I got my right about where I want things to be. Let's see what our measurement is on this. So our overall measurement is 9 3/4. So we'll write that down. 9 3/4 long. Our overall measurement this way is 5 3/4. That's our outside to outside dimensions. Now, if we wanted to make an inside perimeter, which I think we could get by. It's going to be close. But a 9-inch, so go 9 inches by with the exclusion to this catastrophe over here. A 9 inches by 1, 2, inches. Let's drop one just to make sure. 10 inches. Yep. So over here though, we're going to need to be 5 7/8. Take away 1. Yeah. 4 7/8. It's going to be really tight around this back side with this, but 4 7/8. 4 7/8. So we got to do kind of what we did here. We got to find out our center spot of kind of where we originally wanted, and we'll go from there. We'll do it right here. We'll do a 10. So half of this will be right here. Okay. Now, oddly enough, I didn't give us, probably because there's not a whole lot of room here. Not a whole lot of room at all, actually. Let's see. We're going to burn one there. So let's say we come off of this. We know our outside dimensions are 5 3/4. If we put a 1/4 inch between here and there, that's not enough room, because we know, remember last time we said this goes to 6, I believe, right? Let's get this out the way here. Yeah, roughly a little less than 7. It's just barely gonna fit in here. We'll just go off of a midway of this. Midway of this is 5 7/8. Half of 5 7/8 is what? So it's almost 6. So it's 2. And a 16th, is that right? No. Over there, it should be 2. Jeez. Right here. Not a lot to work with. Okay. It looks like our middle spot is exactly right here. All right. So 4 7/8 this way and half. Half of 4 7/8 is 2. Half 7/8. Fourteen sixteenths. That'll be 7 sixteenths. Just a hair, 1/16 under a half. 4 7/8. So that'll be 2. So if we start at the 2. 1, 2, and right here. Boom. We're getting there, we're getting there. Two, and let's do my floppy right here. Boom. We'll do the opposite over here. Boom, and 2. Boom. I don't think that that's equal though. Three. It's not. Boom. Boom. 2. Boom. There we go. Now that's what we are here. All right. Now put it over here.
You're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's the slow. You got the slow part right. Seems like it's taking forever. Half of 9 is going. That's easy. Half of 9 is what? 4.5. Dude. We're gonna burn 1, so it's gonna be 5.5 on the 1. Five and a half on the 1. Here it's going to be 5.5 on the 1. Alright. So we'll go ahead and make our measurements here. We got right at, come on, right at 7 1/4 roughly. 7 1/4. We'll come down here and we'll grab it. And then we'll come up here and we'll grab it. Double check it. Yep, it's all right. We'll come out here, we'll grab this one, this long one over here. That's going to be 16 and 1 2 3/16. And 3/16 and 16 and 3/16. All right. Ooh. Wall marks here. Now we can get our measurements off the bottom at 1 1/2. At 1 1/2. At 1 1/2. Measurements across the top. Measurements across the top is 6 3/8. Yep. 6 2 3/8. And 6 3/8. All right. So this should be 5 7/8 per 1, so that's 4 7/8. That's right. That's right. This should be 9. Burn 1 should be on the 10. That's right. will be 9, 10, burn 1, that's right. Alright. That is the push panel buttons, which we're going to have when it comes time to do what we got to do. We're going to have to figure out what we got to do right here in this area. I'm going to have to make a notch out just for this little guy right here. It's hard to see. There's a little delay there. It's hard to see, but there's a step up right here where they doubled this plastic for this ignition switch. I guess to give it a little bit more stability. Checked.
Heather Bunch says, everything is right, LOL.
Yeah, it's pretty close, pretty close. Alright, so now on this vent, ugh. What we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of center it. We're going to bring our center spot up, which remember we had that measurement here from the bottom of 3 and 15/16. So we'll kind of go along with that here. 3 and 15/16. It ain't gotta be perfect. Alright, so there's our center spot there. Now, our measurement that we have here on this Duma floppy, more accurate there. Measurement that we have here is right at 2 inches, so half of that is 1. Okay. So that measurement from here to here is 4 3/8. We'll bring it up closer to our center spot. 4 3/8. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. There's our center. Alright, now that we know our center, we already know we're good side to side. We just need to come and figure out what our length is here. Outside to outside is 4. Roughly 4 3/8. It's actually 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. 4 and 5/16. Divided by 2. We'll just say 4 3/8 divided by 2. That's easier. Three sixteenths. So 2 and 3/16. Does that sound about right? 1, 2. And 3/16.
Heather Bunch says. And I will always keep measuring Ogo.
Okay. I. Measure. That's all I'm doing over here. It seems like just measure, measure, measure. Okay, got those. And we already got our side to sides here. All right. So we'll get our measurement here. That's 3 3/8. We'll go up here on the top mark. Alright, which ones are top? Way up there. And we'll get our 3 3/8.
Heather Bunch says. And measure some more LOL.
Yep, that's right. 1, 2, 3. 3 3/8. Down here. 1, 2, 3 3/8 right here. Now over here we have 5 3/8. So we'll go 5 3/8. And down here we'll go 5 3/8. All right, there we go. So there's our measurements for everything to prepare for cutout. Before we cut out anything, I got to get, I say everything, it's everything on this panel. I got to get a hole saw for this size of hole. I also have to get some new jigsaw blades. We don't want to use our crappy jigsaw blades that we have right now. They're just too bad. Need replacement. Alright. See if I can get this over where y'all can see this. Light that would help us out. Definitely not a lot of light. Let's see. So you can't really see. The light is just not good enough and bright enough to see what's going on. Let's try. Let's try on this other camera. Maybe I can get it a little better. Let's try this camera. Not really. It's pixeled in, so it's hard to see. Anyway, there's marks on this wood. And so we have the GPS unit that's going to be just enough to hold it in place while we're talking about it. So the GPS unit goes right here. The switch panel is going to go right here. The CD player right here. The heating control right here. The SIM panel button box right there. Still hoping that this is going to work out for us. That's the only one that has me worried. And then the air vent right there. Over here, our cutouts that we're going to make are going to be for the I don't know if they make a mount for this stream deck. I'm sure they do. But basically, we still got to cut out for the stream deck that's going to go there in that area. Our looks like our little cross member right here is going to go roughly about right there. And so this is the piece I still got to do some adjustments on. Just put it upside down for looks right now. But anyway, that'll go center in that little area right there. There is a stud right here, so I can only I'll only be able to butt it up against that edge of that stud that's back there. That's where that's going to go. These tablets up here, I'm not going to put these on the back side. They're basically still going to be superficially mounted just like that. I'll probably come up with a magnetic base so it kind of holds good and tight. But other than that, that's probably how it's going to do. I'm not going to set it behind, because these tablets, these main tablets, I have a feeling I'm going to be having to adjust them way more than my GPS tablet. That's always going to probably be a GPS tablet. And I also made made it where I can push the buttons where it sticks out a little bit. I guess kind of squeeze that plastic and it can power it on and power it off. Whereas these, I don't have that room to be able to do that. And then we'll have to put a drill out for a vent here. And did we say we were going to put a vent here too? Can't remember. I think we did. We'll put a vent here, here, and here. Yeah, that's what we said we were going to do. We're going to put a vent on both sides of this. Long ways vents. On both sides of this. This little area will still be open. And then after I get everything cut out, we'll go through and we'll stain this to that brown color, the mahogany red, which is brown. Anyway, we're going to stain it to that color. And we'll put our edging trim on it so it covers these edges up, and then we'll put our trim bezel on there as well. And that's about it. I think that's all we're going to do tonight, because I can't do anything else until I get that hole saw and another jigsaw plate. I guess I could make spots of where these holes for this need to be cut out. We can do that real quick. Once again, over here I have a stud that's back here behind this, so I'm kind of limited to how close I can get. So we're going to get, I would like to be way over here, but I can't. It's going to be about right here actually. I do kind of want it closer to the top of there. So I think that looks good right there. We'll make a mark. 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 We'll make a mark. It's actually close enough. I'll probably go ahead and just trace another right now. What y'all think? Do it. That's what I was thinking. Now later on down the line, if I ever change my mind, and if I want to put these back behind there or make a bezel to it, I can. That'll always be an option that we can do. So on this one, we want this to be kind of same height. So I will measure
Heather
this.
Bunch says, still drawing lines LOL.
Yeah, we still drawing lines. We're getting there though. Slowly but surely. That looks to be just a hair. It looks to be 5/8 to be exact. Just a hair below 5/8. Alright, got a little guesstimation mark there. And the same thing over here. So I got this stud right. Can't get but so close to it. So what I might do is just take this measurement from over here. Just 1 1/16. Alright, 1 1/16. Yep. going to duplicate that over here. Now is this the center? I'm trying to get too technical with it. What do y'all think? Let's just do 1 inch. Let's just do 1 inch. Call it good. Come on. Put this joker up here, right here. Right here.
Heather Bunch says, "Hey, what you doing? Oh, nothing, just drawing lines and measuring LOL."
Yeah, that's it. I'm always drawing something, drawing conclusions, huh? Let's see, there we go. So, alright, so there's that. Now, I really don't know how we need to do this one. I wish it wasn't angled. I wish this was a flat area. I have that mount over there that I could actually put it down and it kind of goes on there like that. But I really don't want it sticking out like that. That's really the purpose. Alright. We'll have to wait on this one. This will be the only one that we're going to wait on. Probably. What the heck? Let's go ahead and just mark. Let's do it. Mark it. What we'll do is it will need to be just a tad bit smaller than this so it can sit off in there. And it'll be a flush mount. We'll cut it where that is the outside. And hopefully I can get it where it'll just go up in there perfect. We'll try that. All right. That's it. That's all of our lines. I don't think we have any more lines that we need to mark whatsoever. right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I got all my lines marked. We're all ready to do some cutting tomorrow. After everything's mounted.
Yes.
All right. After everything's mounted, or after everything's cut, we'll go ahead and make sure the little things fit as we go. Make sure all the cuts are final. We have to stain the wood, and then we'll put our trim around the edge. Once the trim's around the edge, we'll go ahead and put this trim on, attach this trim, and then we'll place everything in there, like all these little kits and stuff. We'll place all that stuff in there, and then after all that, it'll get wired together on the back side and on the insides. And I think that's going to be it. Anyway, if y'all are watching the stream after, not the stream, the live, after I'm, afterwards, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me what you would change, if anything. Tell me if you like what you see. Be sure to go over to OpenTheGrate. I'm pretty sure I tagged it in one of the first comments. It's probably tagged also in the name of the video here. Go follow that. I sent everybody a follow request. I'm trying to get up to 100 followers on that so I can start streaming from that channel rather than streaming off of my personal channel. Just trying to keep all of my gaming stuff over there on that end. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I might stream some more tomorrow or go live tomorrow on this. I think I will, actually. So y'all can kind of, if you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to. Hey, if you got any questions, whatever, let me know. Until then, we'll see you later.